Well, many blessings to everyone. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing fabulous on this Friday afternoon, at least here in the tri-state area in New York. How are you guys doing? How are you navigating through all of this energy that we've been having over the last 2 weeks or so? It's been really intense. For some in an amazing way, and for others in a challenging way. And so I love to hear how you are harnessing and anchoring the energies. Of course, we know that it started on 9/9. I actually put up a video of that amazing portal, which was sort of, kind of closing right now. Of course, we just went through the full moon, and whoosh, is what I have to say, right? We love these beautiful gifts that we receive from the universe and from the cosmos, Earth, all of this influx of incredible fusion, of calibration, of receiving all this amazing energy. And of course, it reflects in the many things that happen in our lives. I know that I have observed so many closings of contracts with those that I work with, colleagues, friends. It really is surreal to witness it. There is no denying, at least from my observation, that the triple nines really did begin a closure of sorts for completed contracts, and perhaps we didn't feel that they were completed, but situations and people just brought us to that place of awareness. And I think that I've sort of observed that as well, surprise, shock in some ways, not believing like jobs and situations, a lot of relationships abruptly just coming to closure. And a lot of this is not always easy to assimilate, to move through emotionally. We have to keep reminding ourselves that perhaps we've held on to things that we knew were already overextended, and that we already had an awareness, and that these closures are all leading us to new commitments, new contracts, new experiences, and just a new platform, right? I have witnessed it myself in not any longer having connections with beautiful beings in my life, and not really understanding to a degree the whys, but just really honoring it, and honoring what I know transpired during the connection. Of course, on a spiritual level, on an eternal level, there is no such thing as closure or sever, like you sever it. We're intimately, eternally connected to each other, to all. But on the physical plane, on the emotional plane, things do come to closure, and again, sometimes that leaves us wounded, injured, questions, not truly understanding the whys. And if we're not careful, it could also leave us in a place of protection, then feeling that we need to protect ourselves, closing our heart chakra, not allowing others to enter. And we have to really recognize that when, it sounds kind of corny, but when something or someone exits, someone else enters, especially if you leave your heart open to surrendering and gently letting go, it will be filled. and that's a promise. And so, you know, we can't always replace, but that's not what we're looking to do anyway, or we shouldn't be looking to do, but to embrace the experience and then build on it. And if we take that approach, we're going to be fulfilled, and we're gonna be able to walk away not only with the good memories and the feelings of what was, but now, because we took that approach, to be able to also deliciously enjoy what we are receiving, because we left room to receive it, you know, instead of closing up the heart and saying like, no, I don't want anybody in here now. Yes. And so make sure that if you're experiencing these kind of transitions, to leave your heart chakra. By the way, that doesn't mean that we don't allow ourselves to mourn and to express, you know, the feelings that do rise, you know, at the onset of the closure of certain situations or relationships. I always say that we should definitely honor that, and if you need to cry, if you need to scream, if you need to ask a couple of times, you know, be authentic and say like, I don't get this and I don't understand, as long as you don't stay there. That's the key. As long as you don't remain there and now make those feelings your foundation, that it's perfectly natural. It's more than natural, it's okay, and it's necessary, I believe, to be able to go through a mourning sort of process. Just don't stay there. Yes. I felt inspired, of course, to connect, just coming out of this, or sort of beginning to come out of this very, very cumbersome type of energy. I have been personally and professionally busy as well, and I found myself finally with some time to sit, and I said I definitely need to connect. I feel that I also want to address the importance of the tribes, finding your tribe, and the importance of the tribes, the collective, the like minds coming together. I think it's so necessary, because in the new paradigm, as it's really always been through time, that no one really ever does anything by themselves, you know, even though sometimes it may feel like we do, but there's always someone supporting us. There's always assistance, that whether it's on the earth grounds, or whether it's cosmically, celestially, or all of the above, which is usually the case. And yeah, we may feel like we're doing things alone, but we're not. But more than ever, as we, you know, like really set the stage for this beautiful new paradigm, it's about collaboration. It's about like minds coming together and unifying, sharing, supporting each other, and the tribe, you know, the uniqueness that collective group of souls can really bring, the dynamics, and how it can really bring any endeavor, intention, project into another level, just by the different personalities, the different energies, the different intentions, and all of that. It just creates a wonderful recipe, if you may, for success in the endeavor. You know, I have been fortunate enough, of course, and I feel so very humbled that I've always been, so to speak, surrounded by tribes. It was a calling that came to me from the very beginning of this work, when I began by myself, but I knew that it was, well, I was guided to know that it was always important to have a collective, a group, you know, and for the most part, they've been known as beloveds or students, because we began that way, but so many of them shine in their own magnificence, purpose, and light in their own right, and yet we still gather in ascension classes. We gather in the beautiful Universal Expos that I offer here in Staten Island, and in the shamanic classes, which is sort of specific to the apprenticeships, but it's amazing to watch what has occurred in a little over a year, where we now have the Unity Tribe. And the Unity Tribe is composed of all of the students who have completed the apprenticeship and now are part of the Unity Tribe, not only learning advanced shamanic teachings, but sharing their own voice, sharing their own light, their own growth, and it's so amazing to witness how they come together and support each other and create a beautiful, safe platform for others to share. And I immediately started to recognize the importance of that, because as light workers or ascended ones, those who recognize that they're awakening, or they've awoken already to a certain degree, and you have a spiritual foundation, there sometimes seems to be a I don't want to say illusion, but a self-imposed belief that we need to be perfect, that we shouldn't have any problems, that we shouldn't experience any challenges, and if we do, that we should overcome them. And I've always shared in the videos and my books and the classes I give and the workshops everywhere that I don't believe that there's a right or wrong, an absolute, as far as an answer to a situation, a question that we may have, like, oh, this is the answer and that's it, no, not at all. I feel that perception and where we are consciously play huge and vital aspects in how open we may be to know that there could be many ways, many truths, so to speak. But with that said, I don't know where this belief came from. I do witness it a lot, and actually I am sometimes put under scrutiny as a teacher or guru. Oh my God, like, there's a problem? Oh no, like, you can't have a problem because you solve all problems, I don't get that very often, by the way, with the beautiful beloveds that I have in my life at this point. But I have experienced it in the past, and it's not even about me, it's a general condition that I sort of witness, that we have to tough it out, that we should figure it out because we have all these tools, and we should have all these practices, and we have all these beliefs, and so sort of get over it. And there's nothing furthest from the truth as far as I'm concerned, and it's something that I teach as well, that spirituality has nothing to do with having a perfect life. It has more to do with how we're going to respond to the situations, the challenges and everyday life that occur, and how are we going to show up, and even when we're doing our best to show up with the tools and practicing all that we've learned, you want to know what? We are part of us is an emotional body, and emotions are the energy field that keep this realm in place to a great degree, besides love, which is a so it is perfectly okay for us to know that we're going to have those moments, those days, and maybe even weeks where we may not feel like ourselves, where we feel, tired emotionally, physically, mentally, where we're probably experiencing confusion or indecision, questioning, feeling hurt or wounded by situations. And that in no way takes away from your spirituality and your growth. Actually, when we allow ourselves to be authentic, which is what that really is, to allow those emotions to rise, we're being in our most empowered state of being, because we're not suppressing, we're being real, and we're allowing that flow of emotion to move through us. Again, the key is not to remain there. And then the second key is to hopefully not take a stance where we have to shut ourselves, shut our hearts, put up defenses in order to protect ourselves from whatever it was that punctured us in the first place. Because if we do that, we're not going to really protect ourselves. What we're really doing is shutting ourselves down and not allowing our energy to flow, or the interaction that's so very important in this experience. As I said, collaboration, unification, the collective, So, I don't know, I just kind of felt that was really important. And one of the things that I absolutely love when the Unity Tribe comes together is that there is always someone or a few who are in the cusp of experiencing some kind of challenge or confusion or just emotional feelings, and they have a beautiful, safe, loving environment where they can share their vulnerability, their challenges, their feelings, and not feel scrutinized, not feel judged, and feeling instead very supported, and perhaps even receive guidance and insight, support, And so absolutely see the necessity or the calling to find your tribe, find your tribe. And how do we recognize our tribe? Well, we can have many tribes. Actually, there's not just one. There could be one, but we can form many and we do actually form tribes throughout our lives. If you think about it, for most of us, we could have had a couple of close friends when we were in elementary school and middle school and high school. And as we moved through the ladder of education and maybe moved, home locations, we had close friends, and then we made new friends, and we got into the work field, and you met new colleagues, and you became close. And then, you moved departments, or you left your job and you started to do something new. And so really throughout our entire lives, in some shape, way, or form, we've sort of been always experiencing the tribal experience of feeling comfortable, or the, slang word, a clique, a group of, friends. But in the spiritual realm, we're sort of, well, most of us are sort of more expanded in allowing, many to enter into that tribe of foundation of, just like minds, complementary, where we sort of speak the same language, and we understand each other. People are not scratching their heads and saying like, "What are you talking about?" or calling you weird, right? And all of that's so very important, because even though we've had so much growth in the spiritual communities, we're still the minority. and the language that we speak, and the way the processes by which some of us choose to live, meditation, contemplation, rituals. This is still somewhat obscure to some, you know, that's still dabbling and just getting to know a little bit about it, but they may not fully be able to engage in the depth of what some of us have actually tapped into and what has become our daily living, you know. And so again, when we find those tribe members that we can be vulnerable and be expressive and be authentic with, it's priceless. It's priceless. I don't know what I would do without my tribes in the many beautiful beloveds that I have. And although for the most part I lead, you know, our gatherings, I cannot tell you how much they give me on a daily basis, how much they remind me of what I've told them, and they give it right back to me, and it's just absolutely priceless, and they fill my life and give me purpose every day. So for any of my beloveds who are watching this, I'm so ever grateful and thankful for you, and of course you guys, you know, as well, the viewers who send me these beautiful texts and private messages and leave comments at the video, you know, in the videos. This is a tribe as well, you know, because we come together to share and to hear and to listen and to learn, and that's all beautiful stuff. Yes. And so I hope that this inspires you to go out and look for your tribe. And you know what, if you are in a rural part of the world, or for whatever reason, you know, there is not a tribe available for you to be a part of, then why don't you start one, you know? And a group, it could be an online group, or it could be a yoga group, or a meditation group, or even a book club. You know, it could start that way. And I feel sometimes that the more intimate ones are actually the most delicious ones. But of course, sometimes they're big. Our Unity tribe has about 30 something beloveds, and you know, we really are able to get all together. But whether there's 5 of us or 25 of us, we have an amazing time of love, of light, of laughter, of sharing, of learning, of growing, of expansion, and of unconditional love. And that is one of the reasons why I was inspired to share, because I think it's so very necessary, especially as we continue to move, because as I said, we are not doing anything by ourselves. You know, if we think we are, we better look again, you know. And it makes me think of the expos. There's many reasons why the expos, or at least the holistic expos, have begun to really grow, you know, exponentially around many communities. But for the most part, is because they provide a safe oasis for people to come and to learn. But it also provides a beautiful family for the light workers themselves, you know. And just yesterday, so maybe that was part of the inspiration of this video, I had a beautiful light worker who just joined us for the last expo that we had, who shared with me that he had just done 2 expos, and he just really missed the energy and the love and the light and the just joy that he experienced at the Universal Expos. And so he was really looking forward to coming back, and that meant a lot to me, because I take a lot of effort in setting a foundation of integrity and of amazing energy and light to those who are going to be on the expo floor. And I put that also as an invitation for the attendees to be drawn by the beautiful light of integrity, authenticity, and to be open. Yes? Blah, 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 blah. I'm talking a lot, right? Speaking of expos, we are having so much fun. Started to work very early for the December 15th Holiday Expo here in Staten Island. I know that we have a lot of viewers who are not part of the tri-state area, but if you happen to be, start marking those calendars. December 15th is our next Universal Expo, and it's going to be delicious as they usually are, and we hope that if you happen to be around, you join us. I also have an event for October 4th here in Staten Island as well, and it is a psychic event, an open forum, so to speak, where a colleague of mine, a beautiful witch, Mark, and I will be working the floor, just whatever comes through. Together we have over 40 years experience, and it's going to be really, really fun. If you are interested in learning more about that, it's from 7 to 10 on October 4th here in Staten Island. You could reach out, private message me. There is also a Facebook event that we created. I'll put that in the descriptions. For anybody who may be in the tri-state area, and I am sitting with the Psychic Tarot deck, of course, and I am going to pull a couple of cards for us and see what the closure of this 999, the 9 days of it, are bringing us to. Financial and material opportunities. Yeah, you know, be open is what I feel here. Be very open for unexpected collaborations, offerings, opportunities, things that come, I don't know, almost unexpected, you know, something that you may have sort of discarded as not a possibility, all of a sudden becoming a possibility, collaboration, being involved in multi-projects, and a lot of excitement, a lot of growth, and a lot of different directions here. So be open to being like the lotus, being, sorry about the sirens in the background, being flexible and going with the flow of being able to do more than one thing, you know. Yeah. Let's see. Solitude, the solitude card. This is not necessarily about being alone. It speaks to me most of the time about studies, completing something, beginning something, dedicating yourself, perhaps finishing a book, starting a book, studies, a new vocation, something that you've put off. Make the time, become disciplined, and know that it has rewards at the end. So stay focused. If you are being invited to write a book or to study, it's gonna lead you to higher places, you know. The base chakra, you know, I feel, of course, anchor the energies. Since we're receiving so much energy, make sure that you anchor, you know. How do we anchor energy? My favorite is nature, barefoot, drumming, invocation, which means dancing to something very rhythmic, moving the body. Of course, the base card also is a reminder to let go of fear, of insecurities, of if you're not feeling stable right now, not energetically, but otherwise, let go of that, you know. call in the archangels to create a synergy of energy around you, like a harness to support you as you're moving through the experiences. Make sure that you don't hold on to fear, the fear of how things are going to manifest, because that's just going to keep them further apart. Allow the universe, the energy of the universe, the swirl of the universe. It is, all coming into the core, which is you, finally coming into center. Okay, this is about making sure that you have that connection, making sure that you make time to meditate and to infuse that energy, which means anchoring it. Yes, being of service to others is a way. One more. Ooh, and I don't like to leave it like this. Silence, suppressing. Oh, I'm sorry. Suffering and silence. Letting go, needing to walk away, being misunderstood perhaps in something. These new contracts, again, can be very painful because not everybody may be on the same page or understand why we feel that we need to separate or detach ourselves from certain situations. So there is a sense of an element of sadness here. I spoke about that in the beginning of the video. Allow yourself to experience it, to let it move through you. If this is a situation for you where you've had to walk away and sort of feel alone, please allow yourself to move through it so that you can see that you're not going to be. You perhaps just needed to let it go. The situation, yes. And when you do, the acceleration of the greater things are just ahead, and so this is definitely the final card. Don't forget that we are in prime, cosmic infusion, and that these energies are here to completely restructure and open incredible doors of opportunity, of new direction, of new projects, of new experiences, of new beliefs, new relationships, new everything. Yes, so stay focused on the greater plan. Yes, love that last card. I didn't want to leave it in that suffering alone, in silence, because I hope that the reading was instrumental to you. I hope that it spoke to you, and how I love to hear if it did. And thank you always for leaving those comments, which I love to read. I will be in touch again, and of course, as always, and I don't always remember, but if there's a subject that you like me to talk about or to address and share, drop me a comment and I'd be happy to address that for you. I hope that you have an amazing weekend, and you already know it. I leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. I hope that you continue to stimulate this beautiful energy and that it serves you in the highest way. Yes? Love you. See you soon.